Good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, March 18th, just past 10 a.m., and we are going live here in Phoenix. Today, we're going to go over some of your comments. We're going to give you an update on the frenzy of what's going on here in Arizona. Hopefully, answer a few of your questions. So, stay tuned. What's up, everybody? It's Greg Corbett with the AZ Lifestyle Group right here in Phoenix, Arizona. If this is your first time to this channel and you're looking to find out everything you need to know about what it's like living in and or moving to the Phoenix metro area, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you can be notified whenever we post a new video. We are helping people from all over when it comes to finding the best places and neighborhoods to live here, and we absolutely love it. So if you're even thinking about making a move and you need any assistance whatsoever, give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email. However you want to get a hold of us, we got your back when it comes to moving to the Phoenix Metro. All right, let's go ahead and bring in our good friend, my partner Rudy with Prime Lending. Rudy, good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. And yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Do you have any hangover today from drinking green beer?
With a 2-year-old and a 10-month-old, those days, unfortunately, for the foreseeable short-term future, are going to be gone.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll pick it back up here when the time is right.
I hear you. Same boat for me. I think my wife and I shared a Guinness last night. We had like 1.5 of Guinnesses because you got to pop one open, and she did make some corned beef and cabbage and potatoes just to celebrate a little bit. And our 2-year-old dressed up. I wish I had a picture I would share. Our 2-year-old dressed up in some nice St. Patrick's Day gear, but it was a pretty mellow one, but it was fun either way.
That's awesome. And one of my coworkers who's lived here for about 30 something years, he told me that obviously with COVID, it's not happening. But prior to COVID, St. Patrick's Day here in Scottsdale, Phoenix is a pretty popular day of the year. It gets pretty crazy, apparently.
Yeah.
It gets pretty fun and eventful.
Yeah. I mean, for people who are looking to move, there's definitely a party scene in Arizona. And I used to be a part of that at some point. It was fun. It can be, let's call it a shit show, but it is what it is. But it's a good time, and I just want to tell people that's what it is. But it's a good time, and there's a lot of good people, and people get out and have fun, and hopefully people try to behave to a certain extent. But it's all good. Like you said, those days are a little bit behind, but sometimes we like to partake here and there.
Nothing wrong with having a good time, man. That's
Absolutely.
what we're here for.
Absolutely. And look, we're in, again, the best month of the year when it comes to Arizona. Yeah. Even though things are still, a little bit mellow, we're not on the same kind of March track that we typically are. We do have the spring training games going on, limited capacity. People are getting out and about. The weather's been beautiful. So hard to complain.
Yeah, and then we're seeing a lot of. We've been seeing a lot of real estate activity, regardless of what month we're on.
Yeah.
But it's certainly picking up even more so, which is hard to believe. And I want to say that a lot of it can be attributed to the weather. And then if you go to the Old Town area in Scottsdale, which is a very popular touristy area, every place is packed. People are having a good time, and it's great to see. It's great to see that people are just out and about and being careful still, but just enjoying themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they've opened up restaurants 100%, mm-hmm. But I haven't, based on so far what I've seen, it doesn't sound like that's impacted our numbers on a negative stance. So far we're still looking positive as far as numbers coming down. Mm-hmm. So again, cross our fingers. Still a lot of work to do. We're not out of the woods yet, I think is what people say, but a lot of positives. So I'm gonna take those as positive and definitely keep relaying them.
Yeah, for sure. It's looking good.
Yeah. So we're stoked about that. We're gonna go over some of the numbers. Obviously, everybody keeps continuing to hear about the frenzy. And again, this is not just in Arizona. I think a lot of markets across the U.S. are having these. It's just insane right now what's going on. I don't know to what level you hear certain areas. I know I talk to or watch a lot of content from places like in Texas and Austin. Like they're probably worse than what we're dealing with here when it comes to numbers wise. But we're gonna take you through that, kind of give you an update on what's going on. I've had some mixed kind of deals going on where I've seen a lot of deals that are going crazy over, and then thankfully we're seeing stuff that maybe is calming down a little bit, and we're not have to go insane. So it's a little bit of both depending on what you're looking at and what area. So we'll take you through that, kind of discuss that, and hopefully guide you in the right direction there. Chip, good morning. How are you, brother? Good to see you on and checking in.
Good morning, Chip.
But I wanted to, so let's do this because I liked when we did this before, Rudy, when we took a look at some comments. One of our videos, that Chip and I actually did a few weeks ago, kind of hit over the weekend. I don't know how YouTube works on this type of thing, but all of a sudden, this video had like 200 to 300 views, and then all of a sudden it went to like over 900 views just like on Sunday. So, and then we got a lot of comments. So I want to kind of go over the comments. Let me bring that up. Let me get this off here. Guys, if you're out there, ask some questions. Let us know what's going on that. But let me bring up the screen. And this video that we did, basically, I basically have the title Avoid Arizona Unless You Can Handle These 10 Negatives. So Chip and I went through a list of issues or potential things that people might not like about living in Arizona, just to kind of give people a heads up. And we got a lot of comments on them, and I wanted to kind of go through it and kind of discuss. Number one, thank you for the comments, for everybody who's kind of put them out there. And I think it's good to kind of touch base and go through these a little bit so people can kind of hear our feedback on what's going on. So we obviously, brought up the heat a little bit, and we're going to talk about a couple people who mentioned some things that we didn't touch on. So Frida, she mentioned a couple things regarding the negatives. The heat and sun causes wear on vehicles, fences, houses. I'd like a video on how to protect and deal with this. Yeah, we'll have to kind of get into that. But, let's finish this. The heat can harm pets too. How to live with all the little old people. We'll kind of don't jump into that. But let's... we talked about how the heat can be just annoying and just kind of unbearable and kind of not that fun for families, Rudy. But when it comes to like how it wear and tear on the house, we didn't touch on that, and I think that's a good point. And I don't know if you've dealt with this, but vehicles for sure. Like when your cars if you don't have a garage, your car's just getting beaten down by the sun all the time. Anything outside in your yard, the sun. If you don't have it protected, that the sun's going to just wear and tear on it all the time. So that is something, from a negative perspective that I think we need to key in on and let people know about. Do you have any experiences on those or anything you want to share?
Yeah, we have a shed in our backyard, a metal shed that you just buy from Home Depot, Lowe's. And when we were moving in, there was some furniture, chairs, tables that didn't really fit the decor of our house here that we had moved from Texas when we came here. And over a course of one summer, the cloth or the material from the bottom of the chairs just completely disintegrated.
Yeah.
And these were expensive chairs that we probably had no business putting in a metal shed, but that's the only storage that we had available outside of paying for storage, and they're ruined. They're gone.
It doesn't take a long time either.
It does not take a long time at all. So anything that's delicate or sensitive, I think it goes without saying. It's probably, obvious. I'm stating the obvious here. Just try not to leave it outside at all. Well,
and sometimes, we got some new furniture last year. We got furniture covers just because we learned our lesson from before. So that is something I would recommend. We don't get a whole lot of rain here, but even when it does, it protects it from that. The sun comes out, and just the protection from the direct sun is huge. So I think anything you can do to just kind of block that, even when it's hot. And I know you had an issue with it being out of the direct sun, just in the heat, it still caused some damage. But anything you can do to help protect that's good. Frida mentioned pets as well. That's huge. Like it's kind of like and I think Chip and I maybe didn't talk about this, and it's something that, I think from a parent perspective, it's our worst nightmare. But thinking about leaving pets outside, your kids in cars, anything like that, like it's just the worst thing possible. Like you don't want to leave your pets outside. You don't want to leave your pet in a car. You definitely don't want to leave your children in the car for any period of time. I don't care how long it is. The heat, like it'll heat up like that in no time. So that's something that I think is something that we missed that we probably should have talked about as well.
Yeah, I mean it's obviously that you don't want to let that happen. However, I know that it does happen. Yeah, pets, kids. When I first moved here, everyone told me that during the summer, you just stay indoors or you go stay somewhere else, maybe for a month or so, or just visit someone else. It's true. Like you really do not. At least for us, we really didn't leave the house very much, other than me going to work, and if we needed to go somewhere, maybe to a restaurant or something indoors, like the Butterfly Museum or there's like some dinosaur museum over by the 101, stuff like that. But yeah, you just
find air conditioning. You can hang outside for like a little bit, but that's the direct sun, especially with the little ones, is a little hard, and it's, again, hard on your pets too. Don't leave your pets outside. We got Jim Hertz checking in. He says, "Hey guys, moving to Gilbert April 2nd. Any suggestions I should keep in mind?" Well, number one, Jim, thanks for joining us. Thanks for the question. I guess it depends on what kind of suggestions you're looking for. Are you looking for suggestions on what neighborhoods to live? Are you just looking for suggestions regarding Gilbert in general, things you need to know? Give us a little bit more context. Congrats, number one, on moving to Gilbert. Gilbert's a fantastic city here, or town. We'll call it the town of Gilbert. A lot of people love it. One of my favorite places here in the metro area as well. So congrats for the move, and let us know what kind of more specific questions you have in mind. Definitely check out a lot of what Gilbert has to offer, but there's plenty of stuff around Gilbert as well. So appreciate that. And then Chip's checking in. He's got talking about some patio chairs that he left out, and they started falling apart too. I think probably anybody who lives in Arizona, they can tell you plenty of stories about how stuff left out in the sun just got completely destroyed. So,
yeah, I've got a fire pit in my front patio, and I have it covered with that that material that you use to cover fire pits, and it lasted one summer, and it's like a paper. When I tried to take it off when the winter was coming, it just completely ripped apart.
They don't last. Yeah, they don't last long. I try to look for a little bit nicer stuff here and there, just so it lasts a little bit longer. But I don't know.
Yeah.
How nice you have to go in order to get it to actually last for a long period of time. So part of me just thinks like, hey, just get something that's going to get me through a year and a half, and then I'll get rid of it later and just replace it.
Right. And then during the winter during the winter season, there's no outdoor furniture. If you go to the Home Depots or Lowe's or most big box stores, there's just no patio furniture for sale. So you just got to be mindful of that too. If you're hoping to get a deal on stuff because it's not summertime, then you have to be very quick to get something because it just completely goes away.
Yeah, no, that is for sure. Especially the last year with all this COVID stuff, like everything seemed to be on order for everything. Let's go back to comments here. Let's bring up Vicky. Not mentioned, the heat can cause car batteries and tires to wear sooner. Again, very, very similar to what we were just talking about, but again, you just don't think about it, but totally true. Also, you will replace in your windshield regularly, so have glass coverage on your insurance. That might be from, if you're driving on the freeways, you get all the little rocks and stuff kicking up and you get these little dings in your windshield. So you might be talking about that. I don't know if the heat has ever caused any issue on that. Or maybe she's talking about the windshield wipers. The windshield wipers definitely, you can put new ones on. It never rains for like 2 years, and then all of a sudden it rains and you start using them and you're like, well, I guess those don't work.
Mine are just completely gone. You never use them, but the one time that you do need them is when you realize that they've just been completely destroyed from the heat.
Yeah. No, they go quick. And even if you buy the nice ones, again, you buy the nice ones, it doesn't matter because you don't use them for a couple of years. Yeah. Also, we talked about the heat for pets, but she is mentioning leaving them outside because this is, like, sometimes you can have the wild animals. You got coyotes that can jump fences, hawks if you're in certain areas, bobcats. Depending on where you're living in Arizona, you might have that. I mean, so I'm kind of in central Phoenix, lower Arcadia area, and we have coyotes kind of cruising around our neighborhood every now and then. It's kind of random. You don't see them too often, but I know over the past couple of weeks, like, we've been woken up at night because we hear them just howling like crazy. So they're around, and I know, like, people who like to keep, little areas. There's definitely popular around here where people keep, like, chickens and pens and stuff like that. You keep your chickens out here, and those will be gone the next day when those coyotes come around. So be aware of that. Do you have any chickens in your yard, Rudy?
They've all been eaten by the coyotes. I had to get rid of them. Yeah, actually, about a month and a half or so, there was a coyote in our backyard. We live closer to Old Town, so heavily populated area, and there was a coyote in our backyard, and just seeing him jump over the wall so easily and take off was pretty cool to watch, but also very scary because we do have a small dog, and luckily our dog was not in the backyard at the time. But
I mean, I'd say anything under 20 pounds, you got to be careful. If they're 20 pounds and up, typically you're doing pretty good, but you just got to watch out for that. We'll go back. We've got an actual comment from Patriot, and she says, or he or she, we have 5 months of winter in Vermont, cool summers. I'll be coming from November 1st to May 1st. The weather sounds good during those dates. Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
If you can just pick your dates and you can skip the winter and then come out here during our time, that is definitely a good way to go. That way you get the best of both worlds. So we like that. We've got a comment from Tracy Sanders here. Hi guys, love your channel. I just came back from Phoenix in November last year. Looking to go back to Chandler. Love it, love it. The sunshine. I love the people. Cardinals all the way. All right. Well, thank you, Tracy. Appreciate it. Let us know where you're coming from. And yeah, Chandler's great as well. And thank you for the feedback on the channel. We appreciate you watching. Appreciate the positive feedback. And yeah, the Cardinals are making some moves the last couple of days. So maybe the Cardinals can do some good things this year as well.
Well, I want to make sure with Tracy, is he referring to the St. Louis Cardinals or is he referring to the Arizona Cardinals? I just want to make sure. I know I'm guessing it's the Arizona Cardinals.
I'm pretty sure, just based on the comment, he's talking about Arizona, but never know. Tracy, if you want to verify that either way, but I think based on how much they're talking about Chandler and everything, that it's probably Arizona. Marco, how long are the summers here? Just curious. So I'd say, it's going to be really hot starting in June. Like, you're going to have triple digit weather, June 1st, just expect 100 and up. And that's not going to end until at least the end of September. So I'd say June, July, August, September, triple digits. And that's going to be, so highs in the 100 to 110 to above, potentially 120 in July and August, with little to no relief. And then your cool temps are going to get into like the 80s maybe in June, and then like 90s in July and August, where you got 110 for high, 90 is your low. So 4 straight months of extreme heat, and then May can be a little combo of both. You're going to have anywhere from probably 90. You might hit triple digits in May, on a bad year. We probably had a few last year where we hit triple digits in May. October, you still have lingering triple digits. So you could have 6 months of triple digit temperatures from May through October. June through September are definitely the hottest. And then, November through April, we have pretty good temps. So hopefully that helps out, Marco.
And last year was, according to the news, the hottest summer on record here in Arizona. I think it was the most days with 110 degrees. So it'll be interesting to see how this year pans out, considering that, because I'm still waiting to see my first monsoon here. As soon as I moved here, people were telling me that monsoon season is usually when you get a little bit of a reprieve from
Yeah.
the heat, and really haven't seen it. So who knows?
No.
Maybe this year it'll happen.
Yeah, no, we'll see. I'm hoping that the because a lot of it is based on the heat, how those kind of come into play. So I don't know if it's just gotten so warm over the past couple years that has kind of pushed some of those storms out. And Rudy's going in and out. He's probably caught a call coming in, so you know how busy Rudy is. So
Yeah, sorry.
we know. No, all good, man. Just no worries at all. But Rudy, let's get into, because obviously for anybody who's moving here, they still kind of want to know what's going on with the market, and I want to kind of bring up. We started kind of getting into the Cromford report a couple weeks ago. I think it's good information for us to share with people. Just for everybody that's going on, and we've seen a little bit of mix on activity right now with like some extreme situations. As far as people, and even my wife and I got beat out pretty bad when we put an offer in on a house this week. But it's not like that everywhere. But I want to look at let's bring up the Cromford market index. So we're still hovering above 500, which is the highest level it's ever been. I think it might have been at 530 a couple weeks ago. So this is still just insane numbers based on our still a pretty good amount of demand, and the biggest thing is the lack of supply. So the lack of supply is really what's driving this number here. If we go to kind of a little snapshot, I think this snapshot, let's see can you see that, Rudy?
Yes.
So if we go through the snapshot here, I think the big number is the number of active listings excluding under contract backups. So we've got the UCB. So for those of you who don't know, again, UCB means under contract accepting backups. That's typically what agents will do once a house gets under contract. They go through the inspection period. They're waiting for they want to make sure that the buyer is actually solid. They get through their inspection period. All their contingencies are met before they put it into a pending status. Now, some agents will just leave it UCB the entire time and then have it close. That's not really how it's supposed to work, but that's how some people do it. But the interesting number here, so active listings right now is at 4,000 for basically the entire Maricopa County, Phoenix metro area, and kind of outskirt areas as well. There are 4,700 UCB and CCBS. CCB means contract contingent on the buyer selling their home. Very few of those out there, but they wrap those in there together. And then there's 8,200 pending listings. So listings under contract is close to 13,000, and there's only 4,000 active. I mean, that's just crazy. So that's why all these numbers, or all these green arrows you see, that indicates the seller's market. So you can kind of see, sales per year, days on market going down, days on market active, inventory, all this stuff. I mean, I don't want to make everybody's brain explode with too much information, but I think it's good to kind of look at this to see why we're having these, again, crazy bidding wars, people bidding up, 50 to 100,000. But let me bring you in, Rudy, and then I'll kind of give you a couple examples that I've seen over the last week or two.
Yeah, I was joking around with someone here in my office this morning that he's got a friend who listed his home, and it's been sitting on the market for a week, and he hasn't sold it yet, and everyone thinks something's wrong with the house because it's been sitting for a week.
Yeah,
and it didn't sell in an hour. But yeah, it's not going to necessarily come to a screeching halt. It will eventually slow down again because of affordability, just people being just eventually priced out. But it's still, relative to the rest of the country, Arizona's one of the most popular, if not the most popular places to live, and is most desirable. And people are still relocating here no matter what, if they're moving here with their own company or maybe they're working remotely. It just doesn't seem like it's going to slow down anytime soon. Of course, time will tell, but it's I'm seeing it every day, and you have to just be prepared. Offering this price
$5,000 or $10,000 above this price, unfortunately, for most situations, is just not going to cut it. I think I saw from the Crawford report last week that
We're losing your audio, Rudy.
29% of executed contracts last month were above list price, and we don't know how much of it.
Rudy, can you hear me?
Contracts were above list price, which is a pretty staggering number.
Rudy, can you hear me? Rudy. Well, we're having technical difficulties. This is our first time having technical difficulties. Rudy, can you hear me now? Hello? It's all good, everybody. Appreciate you guys sticking with us. We'll try to work through this. Yep. Rudy, you back?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
So you pretty much didn't hear anything I said, right?
No, we heard a little bit. It kind of got muffled a little bit at the end, but no worries. Appreciate you guys sticking with us when we go through a few technical difficulties. I think people get the idea of what we're talking about when it comes to the market, all the multiple offers and everything. I'll give a couple examples because I think this is helpful. Number one of my good friends also is looking for a home. She found a very really cute home, like around 1,300 square foot, had a cool little 300 square foot guest house that people were using as a vacation rental. This was kind of in the central Phoenix area. Cute house, nothing super fancy. Carport, did have a pool. Was listed at $485. And it got bid up to over $600. I don't know what they accepted, but the agent straight up said, "Hey, we're over $600 at this point." So we're like, "Nope, can't play in that game." And then my wife and I, we went through this in Flagstaff. We finally put an offer in on a property. We went $45K over list on ours just to try to make the best play we could. We can't waive an appraisal. That's just not something that we can offer. There were 15 total offers. We were number 10, and it probably went close to 100K over on that. So these things are happening now. On the positive side, we did have an executed offer that we got. One of our buyers who is watching our channel. They've been looking around for a little bit. We did have a situation on theirs where we only were up against a few other offers, and we were able to get something done at only about 20K over list. So it's not, depending on what area you're at, maybe there's a way for us to kind of figure out if it's really going to be that crazy frenzy that we're going to see. Don't expect 50 to 100K over on everything. And I know a few of you are, I've already talked to several people, and my wife and I might be in the same boat where it's like, hey, if it gets to like that crazy, then we just got to sit on the sidelines for a bit. So, which I totally understand that too. But what with what you're seeing out there, Rudy, are you seeing some similar stuff? Any thing that you're seeing different or the same?
No, that's exactly what I'm seeing. And then also rates have been going up, so kind of add fuel to that fire. With rates going up, it also exacerbates the frenzy in a way where there's a little bit more urgency from people now because they don't want their rates to go up if they're waiting 3, 4, 5, 6 months and they can't find something. So that I think adds to the frenzy in a way. And then if you're buying a second home or an investment property, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac now imposed an additional fee to those homes. So if you've got someone that's buying a second home, the interest rates are now higher, or the fees that you're paying in order to get the rate that you had prior to this announcement has now gone up. So that also, the positive to that, however, is that it could potentially slow down. It'll slow down the amount of second homes and investment properties that are out in the marketplace. People that are looking to buy those, they might not be as eager to buy if they know that there's more fees involved, but it could open it up to some primary residents. But at the same time, if it's not that big of of a financial commitment, that fee, you're going to more than likely make up for it, make it up in equity as you purchase the house. That fee is going to, be built into your equity in the short term, definitely the way the market's going. So it could be a positive. It's not,
Yeah.
I don't think it's a deal killer by any means.
Yeah. I apologize. I got to scroll down on some of the comments. I want to bring a couple more people in. We got Momo who chimed in. Are there a lot of snakes and scorpions? First question from Momo on that. It depends on where you're at. So I'd say mostly snakes. I actually had this question come up in the comments on one of our videos the other day regarding rattlesnakes and stuff like that. I haven't seen rattlesnakes unless you're out on trails. Like there's a lot of hiking trails. If you go out into the areas where you go hiking, you can potentially see some rattlesnakes. If you go up to some of the lakes and stuff like that, any place that's kind of out in the desert that people aren't typically at, and you're just kind of off trail a little bit, then yes, you're gonna find or have to watch out for potential of rattlesnakes and scorpions. From a scorpion point of view, there are certain areas that tend to be a little bit more active when it comes to scorpions. So, always, when you're looking in areas, you probably get an idea, talk to us or talk to whoever you're working with, and talk to the homeowner to see if they've had it. Sometimes they might not share, but there's certain areas, especially up in the kind of the mountainous areas or the backdrops of desert landscape. Those are going to be areas that typically have a little higher population of scorpion action because they just don't have it. I know, in my neighborhood and most of the areas I've lived within in my time here, I've rarely seen a scorpion at my place where I live. It's so you can stay away from them pretty easily too. There are methods to keep them out of your house as well. Rudy, any experience on your end with either of those?
I have not had a scorpion or snake encounter at my house. You're right. You have to venture out a little bit to the more desert feel, or the more outskirts to see them.
Yeah, and then follow up on Momo as well. I'm going to visit around May. What areas are cool to visit? What do you like? There's a ton of areas that are cool to visit. Hard to give without talking to you. And again, this is where it's like, hey guys, reach out to it's always cool to hear from some of our listeners and some of the people watch the channel and just be like, hey, we're coming out, we're taking a look at some stuff, and you just want to pick our brain. We're here for that. It's fun talking to you. So if you have any specifics, or if you can give us hey, this is what I like to do. What do you recommend for me? We'll definitely hit you up on that. Chris, good to see you on here, and congrats. Chris is our very good client and good friend of ours now from California, coming out here. Got under contract again, so hopefully we'll have a smooth process on that. Cross our fingers for that for Chris and Chinwei. So thank you for chiming in as well, Chris.
Congrats, guys.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Let's see. We got Momo saying good to hear on that. So again, another question for Rudy from Chris. Rudy, can you talk about buying points? How much does it decrease the rate? How long do you need to have the house to make it worth it?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question, Chris. So it all depends. The cost depends on the type of loan. If you're putting 5, 10, 15% down, 20% down, it all depends on the down payment as well. But for the most part, what I recommend is that you pay very minimal points or no points at all, simply because the rates are already so low that it just doesn't make that much sense to pay a large amount of points for a $20, $30 a month savings. So the easiest way to determine if it's really worth is if you were to take, let's say it costs $1,000 and then you divide that by $30 a month. How many months is that going to be before you recoup your $1,000?
You need like a whiteboard behind it, Rudy.
I do. I might need to start doing that for this financial classes that I'll be teaching. But it'll be about 33 months. So you just need to stay in the house for 33 months, and then the lower interest rate will then start being beneficial for you. So that's just a very quick way to do that. But it's all case by case. I've got people that are going to stay in their home for a couple years. I've got people that are only going to stay for 10. So it really depends on your situation. But, if you can pay a small amount of points or no points at all, then I would just recommend that because rates are already very low.
Yeah. But if you think, if for the people who think, hey, this is the end house, I'm not going to move, then there's a possibility it makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I've got, I would say of all the loans that I do, I would say more than half do pay some form of points because it's not a short-term investment because they will recoup and benefit from the lower rate in the foreseeable future. So
Yeah.
it's not bad. Points are not bad. It just depends on your situation. When rates are already that low, sometimes it doesn't make sense. But for a little more than half of my clients, they do pay a little bit in points just to get the lower rate.
Yeah, well, and I guess if over the long term, if you're, it'd be interesting to see if like, hey, we're going to pay this out over 30 years and we're going to be in the house over 30 years, then be interesting to see the savings. So always
And
good.
especially
go ahead, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, all I was going to say, especially too, if it's a home that you're going to possibly, there's a chance that you could potentially turn it into an investment or a rental home. That savings and interest paid is also going to be beneficial for you, not only monthly with cash flow, but long term. Obviously, if you're going to have someone else paying your mortgage.
Love it. Good info for sure. Momo chimes in again. Oh man, I love everything. Hiking lakes. Well then, you're good. I mean, again, it depends on where you're staying here. If you're going to be kind of on the West Valley, East Valley. I mean, obviously, the good news about most of the metro areas, you could get from one place to the other. So if you're in the East Valley or Chandler, Gilbert, Mesa, and you want to head up to the Peoria area, head to Lake Pleasant, you're probably an hour away, so that's not too bad. There are some lakes close to Mesa as well. And then there's hiking everywhere. There's good trails and stuff that you can find all over the place, and all sorts of good resources for that you can find. Again, just make sure when you're hiking, if you're out here, don't be careful during the summer. Don't try to go out and do any hikes, especially if you're new to the heat. I wouldn't go out after 10 a.m. I would stay away from that. Some of the sun will creep up on you quickly and put you in a dangerous spot. So be careful of that. But lots of fun trails. Get outside, have fun, play a little golf if you want to play some golf. I was just watching Chip. He was playing some Frisbee golf the other day. That sounds fun. I barely have played too much Frisbee golf, but man, that looks fun. I'd be into that. There's all sorts of cool activities outside that you can do, especially right now. So.
Yeah, and then to your point on the heat, I live close to Camelback Mountain. I think you do too, where it's one of the most popular mountains to go on a trail, and it's also one of the most difficult, if not the one of the most difficult.
Yeah.
But when I first moved here, everyone would tell me just be careful with Camelback during the summertime. There's countless people that have to be rescued by helicopter, so just be careful.
Yeah, we can see it from our backyard, and we hear, especially during the summer, you can hear the helicopters constantly floating around that thing trying to help people out. Chris says, thanks guys, thanks Rudy. Of course, Chris, thank you for popping in, and I think we're good right now. Rudy, we're at our probably record timing of going to like 40 minutes on a call for everybody that's jumped in and asked some questions to say hello. So number one, thank you guys for jumping in. We love staying on a little longer and answering all your questions and saying hello. So appreciate you guys for doing that. Rudy, anything you want to leave everybody with before we head out?
No, just big congrats to Chris and Chinwei. We're so happy for you guys and can't wait for you to officially live in Arizona. And you guys are going to love it. Just thank you guys for the opportunity to help you. And anyone else that's out there watching this, please use Greg and I. Even if it's not real estate related, you're here to visit and you just want some great ideas. We're happy to help you guys in anything that you're looking for. Absolutely. So always fun chatting with everybody who reaches out to us. We enjoy it. So definitely hit us up anytime. So, all right, Rudy. Well, always good to have you. Always good to get your knowledge and insight on everything. And we'll see what happens next week. We'll kind of see what's going on. But again, appreciate everybody checking in and throwing some questions in. If you're watching this later, throw in some more comments. We'd love to answer them for you. But until next week, we'll catch you guys later.